Hello, how is everyone today? Welcome, good to see you guys. As always, please let me know that you can see me, please let me know you can hear me, and please let me know everything is working okay. Welcome back to Vegas Aces live stream. I am your host, Heather Ferris, and today I am going to be teaching you what are the first steps for becoming a blackjack dealer. So I get this question a lot. Hopefully we can get things situated for everyone, and this will make things a lot easier for you to learn how to be a blackjack dealer. Sweet. Okay, awesome. I'm so glad you guys can see me and hear me. That's one fun thing about live streaming, always technical difficulties. So I'm really glad everything is working okay. If you guys do have a problem with the sound or anything like that, let me know. And I do appreciate it. Thank you. By the way, also too, if you have any questions on how to become a blackjack dealer, go ahead and put them in the comments and I will answer your questions for you. Also too, if you don't know, my channel is all about helping you learn how to play and deal casino table games. We cover a range of topics and hopefully you leave here with a much better understanding of the casino industry. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that notification bell so that way you're always notified of our latest videos and live streams. Okay, cool. So let's see here. Our next live stream is on Monday, next Monday coming up. And on that one, we might have a special guest for that. If everything is going to go properly, hopefully, fingers crossed, then we are going to be doing a shadowing mini baccarat video on Monday. So looking forward to that. And also remember to check out our merchandise store. We have a new addition. A lot of you guys have been asking for these dice. Well, we now finally sell these dice. Check it out. I will probably have the website updated in the next week. I'm going to try to do it in the next week. But this is going to go up on the website and you're going to be able to buy these pair of dice. So yay, finally. Woo. Okay, so one more thing. Remember to tip your dealer, and now you can with Super Chat. Super Chat is a way that YouTube allows you to show your appreciation by tipping me any amount you want. Go ahead, give it a try, or become a member of our Patreon page. You could show your support that way. We have all of the links in the description below, and also if you are wondering what these are the Super Chat perks. So if you do a Super Chat, we will do one of those perks. One of the perks were actually so much fun, the stories, that we are now doing an entire live stream dedicated to casino stories. We are currently working out with people, trying to get people together and figuring out good dates and everything to do that. If you are a casino dealer and you are in the Las Vegas area and you want to be a part of our casino stories, please email me, heather@vegas-aces.com. We'll get you in there and you could join. It'll be pretty cool. Okay. So that does it for all of that normal stuff we got to get out of the way. Again, if you guys have any questions, please ask them in the comments. Also, too, if you have any questions and you're like watching the replay on this, put them in the comments. I'll still reply. It's taken me a bit longer to reply to people. My apologies. Social media has sort of gotten a little crazy the past year or so, and things have been a tad overwhelming, so I have a harder time replying on social media. If you want to get a hold of me, email is the best way, heather@vegas-aces.com. So, first steps to becoming a blackjack dealer. What do? Well, first thing you do is practice at home. And Anyone could do this. This is why I tell people you do not have to pay a dealing school in order to learn how to deal blackjack. You can learn on your own at home, since most of the time we're doing at-home practice anyway. So you could just do the same thing we're doing and do a lot of at-home practice. What I did was I created an article on my website, vegas-aces.com. It's in the article section, and I teach you how to deal blackjack. It's a very long article. I totally get that. We are going to update it. I don't know when. I have a lot on my plate, so that's why things move a bit slowly around here. But eventually one day we will update that. If you go to the articles and check it out, there's 2 things that you need to learn at home. And again, check out the articles, check out the video. Everything that I've done before is in a nice hour-long package ready for you guys. Now, when you watch the video, it is good to know that information, but if you're starting out dealing, I want you to focus on 2 things. I want you to focus on being able to shuffle the deck, and I want you to be able to focus on cutting chips, sizing into chips like that. And those are the 2 skills that you really predominantly have to focus on when you're at home. You only need a deck of cards to get started, or a stack of 20 chips. You do not have to go to the casino and buy 100 stack of 5s just to go home and practice. That would sort of be pretty expensive. If you want, you can always buy these chips on Amazon. I have a link in the description below. Just go ahead, click on it. It takes you to, I think I have 3 different, chips in there. And you could just buy a stack of 20 chips for pretty cheap. And when you're at home, you can practice cutting into a stack of 5. We'll go over all of this here in a sec. I'm just doing a brief overview. Another thing that I have a lot of questions about, or a lot of concerns about, is I don't have this nice, beautiful table at home when I'm sitting there practicing. I can't do what you do because you have this nice table where it's actually, a little plushy. I mean, it's nice, it's soft, you could push in on it when you're dealing the cards and shuffling. It's really nice. If you've ever tried shuffling the cards on a really hard table, it's hard. It's really hard. Even for a dealer who knows how to shuffle, that's hard. So what do? Well, there's several ways that you can mimic a blackjack table without actually having a blackjack table at your home. These things cost a lot of money. I don't blame you for not wanting to pay all that money and dedicate like a big old corner of your living room for this blackjack table. So what I tell people to do is, at your kitchen table, which most people practice at the kitchen table, instead of practicing on the bare table, I want you to go and I want you to get a comforter from your bed, and I want you to put the comforter over that hard table. And that comforter should provide that padding that you need in order to practice either cutting the deck or not cutting the deck, either shuffling the deck or cutting the chips. I combine the 2. If you don't have a comforter, or if your comforter is so big and so cushy that you can't use it, another thing you could do is just normal blankets. Just take a normal blanket, fold it maybe once or twice, and then put that in front of you. And that should provide the plush cushiness that you need in order to shuffle the deck. If you don't want to do either of those, a third option is if you have an ironing board. Ironing boards are perfect. You could just stand them up. You could just stand at the ironing board. They do have a little bit of a cushion underneath, so you can practice shuffling and cutting the chips with those. So there are several things you could do when you're doing this at home. Okay, so let me see what you guys are saying in the comments real fast, and then we'll start on the very first step of how to become a blackjack dealer, which is learning how to shuffle a deck of cards. So let me see what you guys are saying real quick. Malik, that's a very good point, and we will get to that here shortly, but that is a very, very good point. So again, we'll get to this shortly, but what Malik is saying is, as a new dealer, sometimes you sit there and you have to think about what your cards are. You have to actually sit there and count your cards. And if you're not very good at math, you might be saying they're using your fingers to count the cards. One of the ways to combat that is by doing this drill that I go over in one of my videos. We'll go over it here too. And it's for counting the cards, not card counting, but actually sitting there and counting the cards, like 6 plus 2 plus 4 plus all that. But that's a very good point, Malik. So we will cover the shuffling, the chip cutting, and cards. Okay, cool. Yes, that's a good point. So Malik says that there are different types of chips, and some are harder to control than others. If you are having a hard time cutting the chips at home, one of the reasons might be that these chips just aren't very good quality chips. If they're not casino style chips or not anything similar to casino style chips, Malik is correct. They may be like really slippery. They may sort of be, I'm mixing up concave and convex, so I'm not even going to try. But it may be slightly rounded, so that way they don't sit on top of each other very well. There's different chips out there, so make sure you have a good set of chips. Again, check out the link in the description below. I have a link to Amazon where you can buy chips and cards. Same thing with cards. If you are trying to practice at home and you're practicing with a deck of cards that you bought at one of the gift shops at one of the casinos, you're thinking, oh, this is great. You know, I'm using a deck of cards from one of the casinos from our last trip. Well, check out the corners of their cards. If you're having trouble shuffling and those corners are cut, you can't shuffle a deck of cards when the corners are cut. You need those corners. Those corners are essential. So that might be a problem that you're having if you're shuffling at home and you're having troubles shuffling the deck. If the corners are cut, you can't necessarily shuffle the deck with the corners cut. Another thing too is if you're having trouble shuffling at home, how old is your deck of cards? If your deck of cards is really old, you might use them for so many years that there's so much oil from your hands on the deck of cards that they clump together and they're sticky and it doesn't shuffle very well. Buy a new deck of cards. Definitely will help you. So when you are learning how to shuffle a deck of cards, keep in mind that how big your hand is determines how you're going to shuffle. So I have pretty petite hands. So with that, what I do is I make an A where the forefinger is holding down the corner of this card and this forefinger is holding down the corner of this card, and using my thumbs I gently lift up and I let the cards fall into place. And that's how I shuffle. If you are let's say a 6 foot giant, then you're not going to have that same experience shuffling the deck. So if you're a pretty big guy, you can't exactly put your hands down because your hands are going to be so large that you're going to have a hard time shuffling. It's okay if you do a claw motion, if you do like the little spider and you hold it like this. As long as you use your thumbs to gently lift up the corners, but not so high that the players or any people behind you could see the cards, then you're good to go. But whatever you do, do what feels most comfortable for you. If you're sitting there and you're having a hard time and you're really trying to force those cards, you're doing it wrong. First off, don't force the cards. And whatever you're doing, if it feels that uncomfortable, change it so that way you do feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable, it's going to be a lot easier to shuffle this deck than if you're trying to fight with the deck. So go home, practice that. Again, watch the videos that I've made before where I teach you how to hold the deck. Depending on, you know, how big you are, it would be a little bit different. If you are having those if you're having trouble, like what I was telling you before, where your corners are cut or your cards are too grimy, get a new deck of cards. And I think that's pretty much it. Now, the thing is when you are at home and you are learning how to shuffle a deck, you're sitting there and you're practicing, which is good because you do have to practice. You have to do this a million times because muscle memory. But are you doing it the right way? There's some students out there, well, they'll go home and they'll practice, but they'll practice the wrong way. And now they have this habit, or they have this thing that they can't get rid of because they learned the wrong way. If you are ever wondering that, let me know. This is what I'm here for. Everyone has a video camera in their phone, so just take your phone, record yourself dealing. Try to get from all angles if possible. Have someone else hold the camera and let you deal. It's a little hard for me to see what you're doing wrong when you're holding the camera while you're trying to deal. Just saying. And then what I want you to do is either put it up on social media, send me an email, send that to me that way. Just send me your video. Let me know what you're having trouble with. I'll watch the video and I will help you figure out what we could do to make this work. Or you could send me a video and have it be absolutely perfect. And I'll be like, you know what? You're doing really good. That looks really nice. Is it easy for you? And you'll be like, yep, it's nice. It's easy for me. I could do it pretty smoothly. Dude, you got it. You're rocking it. Just keep doing that now. Do it a million times because you need to get that muscle memory. And the only way to get the muscle memory is by doing it a million times. So we talked about shuffling the cards. Now we're going to talk about cutting the chips. Let me see what you guys are saying real quick in the chat, and then we'll go into cutting the chips. Hey Dane, how you doing? There's snow right now? Oh, that sucks. Really? This is why you gotta move to Las Vegas. There's no snow here, although we are at 44 degrees, but that's not bad. So, yeah, move to Las Vegas. Oh, thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. It's a new dress, so much appreciated. Thank you. Sweet. I'm glad you liked it. Awesome. Yes, the sound is a little rough, but the problem is I'm doing this on my cell phone, and I have a microphone that I use. Normally I use it for the Star Trek convention, but what I did was I set it up on the stand and I put it like slightly away from us, and then I was hoping that would catch the audio pretty well. If you guys have any suggestions for better audio as far as hooking up to my phone, which is an Android, please let me know and I will totally consider it and possibly buy new equipment because I do want to have good sound for you guys. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. It even has the hood too. Okay, we just got to go into this really quick. Look, I got like the Princess Leia hood. Or the Snow Queen hood. I don't know, whatever you want to say. But it's a pretty sweet hood. Okay, so everyone's good in the chat. You guys are cool. Thank you again for the dress comments. Much appreciated. And let us continue. So now at home, the next thing that you're going to have to practice is handling the chips. First, get used to them. Just hold them and sit there and just mess with them and just get a good feeling of them in your hand. So you could be sitting there watching a movie or watching a TV show, and you just have to be getting a good feel of them in your hand. Next, you want to cut the chips. Now, normally it's sizing into the chips. So there is a stack of chips that you have to size into. You're going to pick up a stack. Usually it's a stack between 10 and 20. You'll know by how it feels in your hand once you get used to the chips. And now you're going to use your pinky and your thumb and put them at the very base where it's holding the very bottom of the chip. And you're going to use those two fingers to push the stack towards the bet that you are going to size into. Use your finger and run the finger across the middle portion of the chip and then lift up. You really want to make sure that you focus on, I forgot the word that I'm looking for real quick. It's that thing you do with your finger. You swipe it. We'll just say swipe. Okay, so you run your finger along the middle portion of the chip and then you lift up like so. Okay, and you just want to sit there and you just want to do that over and over and over again. And make sure that they're all the same. If you have one too many or one too few, you're not doing it right. You need to work on it a little bit more. But just keep doing that over and over and over again. Now, what I see a lot of people do when they're doing this is instead of running their finger along the middle portion of the chip right here, what they do is they run it along the side of the chip. And when you run it along the side of the chip, your finger is not actually on this stack. It might be on like the side, but you're already lifting up. So this causes a lot of mistakes where you pay more than what you should. That's why you need your finger to run across the middle portion of the chip and not the side of the chip. So make sure it's the middle portion right there in the middle. And just keep doing that over and over and over again. And literally it's just sitting there doing that. Just basically what I'm doing right now, that's what you would be doing. Just sitting here over and over and over again. And like I said, it's usually good to have, something to watch when you're doing it. So that way you could spend 2 hours on it and not feel like a robot. One thing that I noticed too is when you're at home and you are practicing, people tend to go faster than they should. They're not thinking about it as much as they should, and therefore they go faster. And when they go faster, they get a little bit sloppier. Try not to do this. Even though you're sitting there watching a movie, focus on actually doing the procedure correct every single time. It is not about speed. You are not doing this for speed. Speed will eventually come and it'll show up and you'll have speed. But wow, that just really sounded like the worst sentence ever in the world. But anyway, it will eventually happen. And God, that sounds bad too. I swear, my mind. Don't worry. You'll get faster the more you do that. No matter what I say. Okay, I'm just going to stop right here. So we talked about the chips. We talked about the cards. While you guys are laughing your butts off in the chat, let me see. We are also going to talk about counting the cards. Now, I am actually writing an article right now about counting the cards where I describe how to card count. That will be a new article coming up here in the next week or so, so look out for that. But what I'm talking about when I say counting the cards is actually doing math, like addition. This is what I'm talking about, counting and math. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a single deck and I want you to take all of the 10 value cards out of it. All of the 10s, jacks, queens, kings. If it's a 10 value card, I want you to take it out. And this is very important. So make sure all of those 10 value cards are out. And when they're done, run down the deck. So you have 2, 7. When you're doing this, you're actually going to say the number. So I'll show you. So it will be 9, 12, 17, stay. Or what some people do is they just keep hitting until they bust. So that would be 17, 26, bust. 3, 5, 11, 12, 17, too many, or bust. Technically, you're not supposed to do that. That is a little bit lazy, especially when you're learning how to count. When you are doing this, you should say the number and not say too many. 9, 18, what is that, 24. Okay, and then just keep doing it over and over and over again. 6, 14, 18, 26. I have to admit, I was one of those dealers where I'm like, ha, that's too many. I know you bust. Here we go. I actually haven't had the skill of thinking past 21. I can count to 21, great. After 21, not so much. I can multiply 35s, like the 35 times tables, no problem. I can multiply the 17 times tables, no problem. Which one do I have a problem with? 7 or 8. 7 or 8 I usually have a problem with. Not so much 8. Probably 7. I use 7 less. Okay, just went off on a tangent there. So you sit there and you basically count the cards. So that would be 16, too many, 7, 8 or 18, 12, 15, 20, you would stay. 6, 20, probably stay, but let's hit it again. Oh my God, 21. And just keep doing that. And that will really help you learn how to count. You'll go a lot faster. That way, when you are on the table and you are actually dealing, all you have to do is just look at the cards and you know exactly what numbers you have. You don't even have to think about it because you spent all that time counting the cards. Okay, so let's see what you guys are saying in the chat real fast. And again, too, let me know if you have any questions on how to be a blackjack dealer or how to become a blackjack dealer. Lots of bad dealers out there. I agree with that. When they overpay me or pay me on a losing hand, I say nothing. Is that bad? I wouldn't worry about it. If they made a mistake, they made a mistake. If you don't say anything, you don't say anything. And if they notice it, okay, give the money back. And if they don't, well, you're probably going to be staying there and losing more money, you know, losing that money back to them anyway. So it doesn't really matter. I know there's a lot of people out there who they're very moralistic about this issue. They feel that if the casino accidentally paid them when they shouldn't, they should automatically give that money back. My thoughts on the matter are, you're there to gamble, you're having fun, it's there for entertainment. If they pay you an extra $10 while you're sitting there, well, that means that you have $10 more to play before the casino wipes you out of all your money and you walk away. So you have like what, 5-10 more minutes to play on the table because of that. That's how I view it. So it's a casino. The longer you play, the more they'll get your money. So it's not that big of a deal if they pay you $10 when they shouldn't have. But then again, it's up to you. If you can't sleep at night because you didn't say anything, then by all means say something. It's so much better to have you sleep at night. So it really does depend on the person as well. You guys are sweet. Thank you. Yes, I know, on a baccarat table. I understand that. I realized that 5 minutes to the stream and I didn't have time to do it. But you know what? Most people, they do not have a blackjack table at home when they're practicing. So no need to have a blackjack table here, right? Again, if you are at home and you don't know how to practice on a surface that is similar to a table like this, ironing board works. Your normal kitchen table works. Put a folded blanket on it or put your comforter on it, and those will really help you a lot. Hey, Justin. Yeah, every dealer does have his or her own style. However, casino dealers, as a casino dealer, it's all about following policies and procedures. It's extremely important for the dealer to follow the same policies and procedures at all times, and not to deviate from those policies or procedures. Dealing is really interesting. You sit there and you worry about dealing for the first year that you're dealing because you don't know what you're doing. You haven't had that muscle memory ingrained into you yet. You haven't done this a million times yet. You have to do it a million times to get there, right? So they spend a lot of time, new dealers, the first year worrying about, am I dealing correctly? What are the policies and procedures? Am I doing that okay? Once you get past that point and you become sort of a robot where you don't even think about dealing anymore, then your job has basically transformed into what it should be, which is a customer service job. You are here for the people. You are here to talk with them, have fun with them, ask them about themselves, entertain them. This is all about entertainment, and you are an entertainer. You are sort of like an actor. You are there to make sure that they have a good time. You talk about them because everybody likes talking about themselves. So if you could sit there and talk about them and ask them questions about themselves, they'll sit there and they'll talk to you forever. And that's what the casinos want as you, a dealer. They want you to be friendly. They want you to be personable. They want you to be able to keep people at the table for hours at the time because those people are having such great conversations with you, or they enjoy talking with you. And everything else is automatic. Dealing is automatic. You do the same thing, exactly the same thing, all the time. It's just a robot, and you're constantly going, and it's just always the same. And that's good, because it should be about policies and procedures. The policies and procedures should always be the same. You want it to always be the same. If you are a new dealer and you do not follow the policies and procedures, this is where you're going to get into trouble. This is bad game security and table protection, and game security and table protection is one of the most important factors of your job. You have to protect your table. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any comments. Let me see what you guys are saying real quick in here. Yeah, so Malik says, in the casino I work at, they expect all of the dealers to act like one. That's absolutely correct. Now, the reason why they want all of the dealers to do exactly the same thing all of the time is for game security and table protection. You have to follow policies and procedures all of the time. If you are a security surveillance operator, if you're one of the eye in the skies and you're sitting here and you're watching the games, if every single dealer is doing it the exact same way every single time, then when that one dealer gets in who is trying to cheat the casino, they're going to be able to spot that immediately, because they're going to be like, hey, that's not normal. I don't normally see that. You know, that's going to light up. That's going to stick out like a sore thumb. And that's good game security and table protection. That's why it is so important that all dealers follow all procedures at all times. It's so, so important. I find that younger dealers are usually friendlier. Yeah, they're not jaded. You're right. So after you do that, go ahead. You've learned how to shuffle the deck. You've learned how to cut the chips. You've sat there and you practiced your card counting skills. What do you do next? So you go to my website, vegas-aces.com, go to the articles section, read my How to Deal Blackjack article, and this is what you do. You learn Blackjack. First, you learn how to play it. The dealer always needs to learn how to play the game before they know how to deal the game. So if you don't know how to play the game, learn that first and then learn how to deal the game. once you know how to play. And also too, a really fast way to learn how to play the game is to sit down at the game and spend your money and go and gamble. Because when your money is on the line, when your money's on that table, you're going to learn that game really fast. If you're sitting there at home and you're not as invested, it's going to take you longer to learn the game. So learn the game. Make sure you know how to play before you know how to deal. The casino will always give you a packet of policies and procedures. These are the policies and procedures that you have to follow when you're dealing on the game. And let's see, I think that's, I don't remember where I was going with that. So if you do, let me know in the comments. Let me see what you guys are saying real fast. I'm getting more brain farts. The older I get, the more brain farts I get. It's really disturbing. Oh, that's a good point. As a new dealer, and you're worrying about game security and table protection, one of the things that they teach you is when you pay the right side of the table, pay with your right hand. When you pay the left side of the table, pay with your left hand. And this is really good for game security and table protection. So you always want to keep your body square to the game, and you don't want to turn. So if I'm paying this bet with my right hand, my body is now closed off and I can't see a portion of the bank. If I pay this player with my left hand, my body's still open and I could still see everything on the table. So it's pretty important how you arrange yourself on the game. Anyway, all of this is on my article. Check it out, read it. Learn how to shuffle, learn how to cut the chips, learn how to count the cards, learn how to play the game. And then once you feel ready, have a player, have a friend of yours do a mock game where you're the dealer and you're dealing in the game. Do this until you feel comfortable, and then you're ready to go get a job as a dealer. Now, when you're getting a job as a dealer, you're going to experience stage fright. Not all of you, but some of you will experience stage fright. And how do you get past that? What I want you to do is I want you to write a list of 10, 1 to 10, of all the casinos that you could go apply to and audition at. So 1 would be the casino you want to work at the most, and 10 would be the casino that you want to work at the least. Start with number 10, go apply and go audition. Then do number 9, apply, audition. Number 8, apply, audition. That way you get out of the nerves. You don't have the nerves anymore. You don't have the stage fright anymore. You get used to it. You sort of desensitize yourself to it. If you're going to have any mistakes or any problems, you're going to do it with the casinos you don't want to work at anyway. And that way you could get all those mistakes and issues out of the way before you go and audition at casino number 1 that you really, really want to work at. Also, too, I'm here for you. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you want me to look at any videos of you dealing to see if you're doing it right, that's what I'm here for. That's why you just email me. Just go ahead and send that stuff to me. I'm here for you, and I will help you. Whatever you need, let me know. Okay, let's see what else you guys are saying. Okay, so Two Wings has an odd question. If you guys have the response to it, put it in the comments. If you're watching the replay, put this in the comments because it's an interesting question. How can a football player be injured during the opening coin toss? Well, I guess if he's sitting down looking at the coin and they flip it and it smacks his eye. Maybe. What if his mouth's hanging open and it goes in his mouth and he chokes on it? What is the easiest game to deal in the casino? Blackjack is one of the easiest games to deal in the casino. Big Six is very, very easy. If you are new to the casino industry and you're just starting out, I do not recommend starting out on craps. If craps is your very first game that you're learning, that's going to be really difficult, just to prepare you. What's the difference between 21, 3, blackjack, and just blackjack? So you're probably talking about a blackjack variant. There's a lot of blackjack variants out there, a ton of them. I don't know 21. Are you talking about 21 plus 3 extreme side bet? That's a pretty interesting one, where the player has 2 cards, the dealer has 1 card, and out of those 3 cards, if you get a 3-card poker hand, you win the bonus. That's pretty cool. Well, I hope so, Malik. Fingers crossed. Okay, that pretty much does it. If you have any more questions, put them in the chat. I will answer them later. I gotta get going a little bit early today. If you are interested, I will be on again at 3 p.m. at The Odds Must Be Crazy. We are doing a live stream with Mike Shackelford today. Again, 3 p.m. The Odds Must Be Crazy. I gotta go set up for that right now. Just a quick reminder, Vegas Aces is supported by viewers like you. Donations do make it possible for us to bring you these live streams for free. If you feel that this video was worth more than $0, please click the link in the description below and donate the amount that you feel it was worth. Again, our next live stream is on Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, this is Heather Ferris with Vegas Aces, reminding you that education can change the world. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you guys at 3 p.m. at The Odds Must Be Crazy. See ya. Bye.